those of us who are interested in Bible prophecy, it can seem a bit challenging to put together all the different verses in an effort to figure out what's going to happen in these last days. Fortunately, in the case of the Antichrist, the Bible does give us a number of specific descriptions to help us identify this figure. And the reason it does this is so that we don't follow him down the road to perdition.
The Antichrist is a vile person. The Antichrist has several distinct character or personality traits according to the Bible, including one that describes him as a vile person. Vile is defined as lacking class or decency, a sordid, crass, vulgar, and despicable person. Donald Trump is unquestionably a crude, classless, and vile man. He uses immature, disparaging, and often vulgar language to target others.
For immigrants on the whole
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out.
She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
She's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay, I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Mr.
That's
President.
okay, I know you're not thinking. You never do.
For everything from their ethnicity.
And my numbers with the black, and especially black men. I love black men. I love them. I love them. I have gone through the roof with black men. Black men.
Black men. He says it like he's been practicing really hard not to call them something else.
Since the days before President Trump announced his interest in being president and running for election in 2016, he developed a habit of criticizing black people whose policies and comments that he does not support by dismissing them altogether as stupid, as unintelligent, or mocking their intellect. One of the earliest examples of this is when he attacked President Barack Obama and claimed that he was a terrible student in college.
I heard he was a terrible student. Not like, okay. I heard he was a bad student.
Trump continued this approach when he actually ran for president and found himself on the receiving end of critiques of his policy ideas by black Americans. Instead of addressing them, he just dismissed their intelligence as a whole. One of the most high-profile examples of this are his attacks on Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters, a very low IQ individual.
Maxine, a seriously low IQ person.
A very low IQ person, Maxine Waters.
Most recently, in the activist space in the sports world, he's lobbied most of his attacks at LeBron James. LeBron believes Trump is using sports to divide America. Trump's response is just to call LeBron dumb. It is very common among a segment among his base that believes that black people are less intelligent than white people. And so what he's communicating to his voters, to his supporters, is that you don't even have to entertain these arguments that these people are making because they're beneath you, they're beneath me. And since the arrival of black people in America, the idea that black people are less intelligent than white people is the foundation on which slavery was built, on which Jim Crow was built, on which systemic discrimination is built. The problem with treating black individuals, and when you think of the people he's attacked, these are leaders and icons in the black community, as if they are stupid and ignorant, is it allows lawmakers to ignore the very real issues that these black people are trying to elevate and bring into the national conversation.
To their gender, even to their disability.
Right after a couple of good paragraphs, it's talking about northern New Jersey, draws the prober's eye. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. He always goes like this. And then, there's a stare right there, right? Then he starts. 2 nights ago, we all heard Crooked Joe's angry, dark, hate-filled rant of a State of the Union address. Didn't it bring us together? Remember, he said, I'm going to bring the country together. I'm going to bring it together.
He attacks people for their height.
She was really mean to Minnie Mike. I'll tell you, the way she treated him. He didn't know what hit him. He's going, oh, get me off of this stage. Get me off! Get me off of this stage!
Their looks, their intelligence, and simply because they've criticized him.
Obama would get creamed if he ran again.
I call Obama the 5-for-1 president. We get Bergdahl, they get 5 guys that they dream of. You have this guy, Lindsey Graham, a total lightweight. Here's a guy, in the private sector, he couldn't get a job, believe me. Rick Perry the other day, he put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. You know, people can see through the glasses. But Rick Perry, honestly, I don't think he even understands what it means. I tweeted that Rick Perry should have to have an IQ test before getting on the debate stage. I think Rick Perry did a terrible job as the governor of Texas, where the border security was terrible. Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of the United States. Hillary was the worst. Hillary Clinton's going to be a horrible president. She was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our nation. Why would she be a good president? I think she'd be a terrible president. Rubio, he was unable to answer the question. Is Iraq a good thing or a bad thing? He didn't know. He couldn't answer the question. How are these people going to lead us? How are we going to go back and make it great again? We can't. They don't have a clue. Jeb Bush, let's say he's president. The last thing this country needs is another Bush. We've had it with the Bushes. You look at somebody like Jeb Bush. It took him 5 days to give a proper answer on Iraq. He was changing his answer every day. How is somebody like that going to negotiate? The poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible. Reverend Al is a con man. You know, tells people I'm going to picket you if you don't give. I mean, this guy is a con man. How stupid are our leaders? How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
He has bragged about his sexual exploits with married women. He has made crude comments to his own niece and about his own daughter.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
She's really a beautiful baby. She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
He had an affair with a porn star while his third wife was home pregnant with his 5th child. He admitted to purposely walking unannounced into the dressing rooms of contestants at his beauty pageants, often underage contestants.
Donald Trump loves a beauty pageant, and by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
They're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
In 2001, Tasha Dixon was Miss Arizona, competing in the Miss USA pageant. She experienced this kind of awkward moment firsthand.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him, get his attention. Who do you complain to? He owns the pageant. So there's no one to complain to. Everyone there works for him.
In 2005, 4 years later, Donald Trump bragged to Howard Stern about what he could get away with since he owned the pageants. The conversation uncovered by CNN's K-File.
I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
He was close friends with alleged pedophiles, not just Jeffrey Epstein.
Footage from 1992 found in the NBC archives shows the future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his Mar-a-Lago estate. The get-together more than a decade before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them.
But another alleged pedophile by the name of John Casablancas. Trump has been accused of rape at least twice, once by a woman who said she was 12 years old when it happened, and again by his wife in a divorce decree. At least 24 other women have accused him of sexual misconduct.
2 other women now who claim that there'd been sexual harassment.
They probably do love their names splashed across the front pages. You say, "Oh, hello, darling, how are you?" and you get sued because you've destroyed somebody's life. It's ridiculous.
Trump coerced his father, who was battling early stages of dementia at the time, to rewrite his will to leave out the family of his recently deceased brother Fred. After his father died, his brother's family sued to protest the change to the will. Trump's response? He had the rest of his family stop giving medical support payments to one of his brother's children who was mentally and physically disabled.
Bragged about his sexual exploits with married women and had multiple extramarital affairs himself.
She used to be great. She's still very beautiful. I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try to fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news there.
I took off her. I moved on her like a but I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phone and everything. She's totally changed her look. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
Later in that same show, Trump is asked if he'd ever had sex with Miss USA or Miss Universe contestants.
Never comment on things like that. You know,
Give us the first letter of the country.
How many letters are there? You wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful. It's very sad.
It must be a pretty picture you drop
into. And I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face. She's gotten a little bit large. I don't think you should dress like you weigh 120 pounds.
I don't want to sound too much like a chauvinist, but when I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof.
A person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10.
She ate like a pig.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
The boob job is terrible. You know, they look like 2 light posts coming out of a body.
Is unattractive both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man.
Maybe she should feel that way.
There are a lot of women out there that, you know, demand that the husband act like the wife.
The Bible also says he will be a vile person. In other words, this is not someone with any class. This is not someone with any kind of decency or integrity. He will be a vile person, the Bible says. In other words, someone that people would say, how could he ever be a world leader at all?
When he talks that way, the way he did on this tape, it confirmed that he is truly a racist.
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white. A black may think that they don't really have the advantage. If I were starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black.
They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
It would be 9 blacks against 9 whites, all highly educated, very smart, strong, beautiful people, right? Pocahontas? Is it offensive? Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Pocahontas? I think she's as Native American as I am, okay? When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. I want surveillance of certain mosques. Negotiating with China. They say, we want deal. I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country. What do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him. We are from India.
How could he lead any country? How could he even be elected a dog catcher? How could this man rise to be the Antichrist? A man like this, such a petty, small, vile, nasty person. But that's exactly what the Bible says the Antichrist will be. A vile person.
I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I would say she's in the 4 or 5 category. Right. I like the way she used to look. I don't like the way she looks now.
Do you think she felt pressure to come back after 3 weeks?
I don't think so. I think she loves her job.
She wouldn't have felt a need to do that because you might have replaced her otherwise.
No. Although it's an interesting premise.
I have been better to women than any of these candidates, frankly.
In the wake of questions and allegations about Donald Trump's behavior towards women, ET discovered this footage in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Who is considered vile, villainous, crass, and filthy, with a filthy mouth, who says filthy things and speaks filthy words. That's the kind of personality he will have. He will be the personality that Donald Trump has. Donald Trump is the perfect fulfillment of the Bible prophecies.